thousand friends. This was Expeditionphindy. Yay! It's at night. I'm in the bedroom, and literally, I am not gonna work so hard in the life and all of that drama. I just want this experience to be as authentic as the night for is. Yeah. This is a welcome to the visual and also a wrap up of the podcast for the year. Basically, what has transpired is a beautiful, beautiful moment in me actually starting something and keeping it up. And one of the things then that I would say took me a very long time, not in a bad way also, it took a very long time for because before the platform that it is, it was a different name, and I had started doing research on how to use it. And most of all is when you are limited in equipment, you always make an excuse to say, okay, no, I don't have a laptop, I don't have this, so it's gonna make it so hard for me to learn how to use this. And as I have said with a lot of the conversations for the year, is the fact that for me, I am a shy person, but a talkative person. And I can say I was going through the most when it came to my recovery after the VSG because, like I said, it was emotional, very emotional. I knew that I had taken a step that is going to be extremely challenging in terms of accepting the decision that I've made, that we have come to as a family with my health, and the idea to make it easy for me to work with myself in learning a new lifestyle. And also, I didn't want to taint the idea for me. Other people, I watched a lot of people that motivated me into finding information and actually going all out and on a daily, weekly, monthly basis of the updates. For me, I don't wanna lie, I just couldn't. I couldn't so much that I said because I can't, I'm not gonna be able. I'm not gonna be able to, but I don't want to force it. Then the next thing I end up making excuses about it when it comes to my discipline or learning a new way. For me, it involved a lot of emotional baggage about how do I accept that I've taken this challenge? How do I accept that I almost died? How do I accept that I was living in a dying body because I was applying for hypertension and diabetes and circulation problems, heart problems, all of that mess, and I could not live with myself if anything had to happen to me with these two kids and me still working with a lot of my financials and a lot of me and myself and the things that I've always wanted to live behind on earth as a creator, as a person generally. I I just couldn't find someone that works in the health sector that I would let myself go so much, and not knowing that my history with nutrition is a long story. Basically, guys, as we wrap up the year and open up a new channel and open up new challenges, we're opening up old books of things that we've always wanted to do. That is why I believe in, yes, technology is, yes, perfection is one of the things that technology has made life easy, artificial intelligence, filming, all of that stuff. And the reason why I called the podcast and a lot of my things expedition is me on an expedition about myself, because that's one thing that I say now I understand as I'm a 30-year-old is that life is an expedition actually, and that when you come of age, you are walking into an unknown territory. Literally, if you think of the Arctic Circle or the desert in the Sahara or the Amazon and or the big city also is something that could be a metaphor of life, because if you take a corner, you take a corner, the great unknown. If you follow the more routes that has been taken, you have a backup of evidence in terms of if Pinky passed through this and that and the other, and this is the outcome, and you believe in saying that is okay, and then you try it, it's been proven. But the journey to going through that is not going to be the same as Pinky. Yours is going to be different. You're going to also make different decisions along the way. You're going to encounter people and all of that stuff. And that is one thing that I learned about me in my lifetime with the much of experience and knowledge that I know ever since I left high school. Because for the longest time, when I was in high school, I was in my own head a lot, which I love for me because I never used it as maybe saying running away from life. That's who I was. I was just interested in different things. I was researching my own brain that why am I so curious about wanting to know the other side, and heavily influenced by the Americans, taught by the British. My love for wondering what is happening on the other side has always been that. And it's something that I also teach my kids to be inquisitive about the world. Basically, then enjoying the new, enjoying the lighter version of me, enjoying the, let's say, grown up version of me, open minded me about me, and the discipline that I had to accept that I need to do for me to be successful in the idea of the things that I want. And one of the things that I'm super proud of about this year, and this year was extremely challenging. I have never been in one place since 2021. Yeah, since 2021. I have never been in one province and accepted the challenge of however the year is gonna rock me. This year is my first year ever completely settled in one ground. With that and being at home, yes, I live at home, I am okay. Actually, I am okay because for the first time ever, I have not allowed a man to be part of decisions that I make. Because one of the reasons I can say is my weakness is this idea of always wanting to be part of, and is and then that would be my definition of being accepted here. But for the first time this year, I said to myself, fine, for me, going and sorting myself, I never did all of that to prove a point to anyone. I never did that to want attraction from anyone. I never did that for someone to say, oh, thank you, then you managed to fix yourself. Now you're attractive. Now we like you. If you never liked me or never saw me at my biggest state, it's still not gonna change. Even if you liked me when I was still big, if you do not fulfill the criteria of the things that I want from a relationship, generally, a relationship with us in this modern world is only about the intimate relationship. No, relations for me is anyone that's in my aura. I find myself in a lot of toxic situations, work-wise, a lot of toxic. I went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth to one environment, and this environment reminded me so much of a relationship that I could not stop. I was addicted to money. I was addicted to the feeling of love. And not that I can say I understand where that's coming from, but now I know that because I was limited from what I experienced when I was in my early 20s of being able to just take my card, my Oyster card, and when the craving of being a nomad is calling me, I just take my Oyster card, my £5, get on the bus, and go. That is what I I experienced as my first experience of being independent out of my parents' house, alone, in a big city, in a different place, and literally not even rules per se, but safety in terms of obviously relevance time, but that freedom that I felt and I experienced, I ended up wanting it from other people when I came back to the country. And the saddest thing that for me, I I was shocked. I was shocked at accepting a loss of a male figure in my life that I can say I couldn't express how I was feeling. I didn't understand how I was feeling. I didn't know how to feel. I was confused at how to feel because for me, I now know it's just who I am. I'm not those type of girls that were girly with their dad. I was the one that was gangster with their dad. Like, yo, that type of relationship. I was never the the softie. We would, by I don't know. It was just a weird gangster relationship, and only to find out now later in my years, even my sister saying, "Hi, well, let's be so." I'm like, yo, this is who I am, and I'm learning now with my son Tabo to be soft, and then with Gonge, because she's a girl, I'm learning to be firm because I can't be. Then she doesn't understand that, hey, you need to toughen up and be independent and just be assertive in how you are aware of your environment and talk, express yourself, learn to, express yourself, be aware of your environment, and learn to speak, say what you see that is wrong, and be alert in your environment, be alert in you finding out who you are at a very young age. And she's like that. Utabo is shy, but I'm teaching him to be independent in being out and being with friends and being with the world and being safe in the world and saying, I am aware of my environment. I don't put myself in corners that I don't understand. Be seen where you are and be safe where you are. In a very light conversation also. Because one thing is when you overexpose kids to information that is sensitive and not think of their age, that is wrong. When you speak in a language that makes sense and you choose your words carefully, but you are teaching. Basically, I'm a mom of two and two different dads, two relationships, all of that stuff. I learned a lot. And one thing that I learned is I'm a hell of a stubborn woman. And I'm not boasting about that, but I am grateful that I understand who I am. And I won't say I know who I am. I'm learning and I'll learn to the end of time. But I understand that now, if you don't like the type of woman that I am, don't forget. You are gonna find it hard to understand me. I'm gonna find it very hard to accept you in the way that you're gonna treat me, is the motto for this year. If you don't understand the type of woman I am, I'm gonna find it hard to accept the treatment that you're gonna give me, because one thing that I have learned with this generation, and I'm not gonna be age specific, is people are not romantic, not romantic. The people that I've met are not romantic. I have found myself in corners with people that are not romantic. I have found myself in corners with users. I have found myself with narcissists. I found myself with people that are weak. I found myself with people that are oblivious. I found myself with people that are delusional. Then I use that as a definition of understanding where I was. I was delusional. I was lost. I was confused. I over sexualized every encounter and made that important in relations. I never, I blamed myself for my over masculinity and found myself attracting weak men. I read a lot of psychology books. I watched a lot of movies about psychology. I did self therapy because for the longest time, even till today, I can't afford it. I'm gonna be honest, I can't afford, and I don't even know how much a session would be to go to therapy, even for 2 sessions or 3 sessions, or understanding that if I'm going to therapy, how many sessions am I gonna need for me to start having a conversation? I found myself in acquaintances with people that have problems so that I can knowingly block myself from working with myself. As we come towards the end of the year, I can say I never had a plan for 2023. I never had a plan. I I walked into 2023. It showed me flames. I met interesting people along the way, and I'm leaving them behind. I'm continuing with my journey. And one thing, weakness that the universe said to me, we will make sure, when I say we will make sure, sure, that you do not get is an encounter. And I'm putting it in a very posh way, is an encounter. I will make sure that you do not get an encounter. You do not share your soul. You do not share your spirit. You do not share your body. You do not share your mind with anyone. You can speak to people because it's one thing that you like. You can meet up with people, but your aura this year is just not gonna work with anyone. You can like them, you can move mountains, you can do what you will cry. There will be days when you are lonely, you are sad, you are everything that you can think of. But I will make sure that you don't get it until you wake up and get it. That you do not need anyone. You don't need to be desperate. You don't need to feel needy. Learn to love the people around you first. Learn to love the body, the mind, the soul that you are walking with. Start remembering who you were in your youth when you were by yourself. Good heart. Did you hear that? Start to learn to remember that pure child that you were when you were growing up, when you were just alone with your mind, your creativity, your pure, what is a perfect word? Your innocence. If if you if you can go back to that heart and be okay with being with Upindi, I'm gonna bless you. But if you are not yet okay with being with yourself, I'm not gonna bring anyone to you. Even if they come, they're gonna come and leave. They're gonna overwhelm them. They're gonna get tired. They're gonna get lost along the way in the feeling of whatever they thought they were about. Basically, then I can't even say that I know what is the theme of the conversation right now, but it's a wrap. And when I say it's a wrap, it's not even, it's what, 3 weeks towards the end of the year. The earth is moving into another um, time zone. We are moving into time, we are moving into the future. We have lived in the future in the desire of tomorrow that is not promised, right? With that, no one is promised tomorrow, but we desire about tomorrow. That is the future that we always dream of. And we need to find out that we need to be okay with ourselves and we need to learn to be okay with ourselves. We need to love ourselves so much that rejection is not an abusive thing when it happens, but it's an opportunity to understand that that is not for you, that was not made for you. And another thing, because I'm not married. I'm not married, I'm not in a relationship, I'm not dating, I'm not in a situationship. I know people, acquaintances, because I can say I don't have any ties to anyone. There's no one that can say they have moved mountains for me to say they qualify to be anything more than people that are on my contact list. With that, I now understand what I need to learn or what I needed to learn. Listen, it just reminds me of how a guardian angel came just to clean the way and open my mind. When this encounter happened, and my sister said, Aibo, only if I for someone that is being overly sensitive, don't worry, I'm gonna learn and they're gonna show themselves. But I am grateful that they came because they were opening my lights from other delusions that I had. So every encounter, never take rejection as a thing that now is disturbing you. Sometimes rejection is the push, the go, the move, hamba, this way, that way, direction. It's an indicator actually of it now. It's not going this way. Let's try this way. Or we're heading that way. It's a compass of life. And I am eternally grateful to that moment because I would have still been stuck in an idea that I don't understand. I would have still said yes. I would have still been weak. I would have still been delusional. I would have still been accepting of less than. Then I said to myself, fine, maybe I'm not even ready for a relationship. Actually, I'm forcing the idea that I think I'm ready. I do get lonely. I do love the idea of having someone in my life, but until they not be exactly what the universe says what is perfect. Perfect for me, I should not beg. And I'm saying this, and I've done my manifestation, what is this, prayer for my husband, whether it's now in the near future or in the future. I don't care how long it takes. If you do not understand that I'm a romantic, I'm an artist, I love love, I care about the universe, I need music to play in my life. Forget about it. Forget about it. I should not even for a minute. This and this is why I'm so grateful that I've got a daughter and a son. I will teach them how to be treated by either or how to be treated by a human being that you say that you love. You should not even for a minute feel pain, neglect, desperation, neediness. I shouldn't be looking for you. Don't be obsessed about me either. Be confident enough to understand what is healthy and what is not healthy. And people come from very toxic environments going into the dating world wanting something they don't understand. I'm talking about toxic situations. Like they go out there because the what is it? There's this gland, man. I forget this gland in your body that is actually the third eye, which is the one, not the one, but the one that is supposed to open at a specific moment in your time of life. But that is puberty, the opening of the mind, the realization, the waking up of the mind. That we have come to a point where you now need to be independent in understanding that you are whoever that you say you are. And I am so sorry to say that a lot of people don't even qualify because what is the reason? Oh, my other question is why do we need to be in love? Why? Why do you need to be in relationships? Why do we need to have relationships? Why do we crave these things so much from random people, strangers? Then that is the completion of your life. Like this, as I open up this virtual moment of the broadcast, I am grateful to the first subscribers of the channel and those that will be welcomed. I'm gonna go outside. We're gonna record as I'm shutting down the year. I physically me is going to the country and I'm just going to go and pray, manifest, align protocol, and just accept that even if I may not be financially sound at the moment, I accept the decisions that I have made financially. I am unlearning and learning a new skill, which is a relationship with myself and discipline for the new year. So, lovers and friends, brothers and sisters, thank you for listening and watching. And please share, like, subscribe, and alright is the new order. Feel good about yourself, love yourself, take care of yourself, protect your heart. It's the only mandate. It's mandatory, babe. So, toodles.